Hello, everyone. Welcome to Catfish Weekly, episode 49. This is the December episode, the last one in December of 2014. We hope everybody had a great Christmas, a Merry Christmas, had a good time with their family and everything. Uh, Hopefully, it was safe, had fun, got everything you wanted for Christmas. And by the way, tonight's episode is the What's Up episode, basically the news of the last month or so. It was going to be our last week's episode, but we had some technical problems that didn't end up happening. But I heard there was a great chat. Hopefully, we'll get some of that stuff worked out so it doesn't happen again. Um, but we got a lot that we're going to be doing and talking about tonight. We're going to go ahead and do the Christmas giveaway. I know early when we started talking about the giveaway, we said we were going to do it on next week's show, the January show, but we decided that we wanted it to be in Christmas. You know, if it's a Christmas giveaway, let's do it in the last week of December and make it a surprise like a present is supposed to be. So hopefully we surprise y'all and somebody gets a great Christmas present at the end of this show. And they really enjoy what we did for them, and hopefully we get some pictures with them using the stuff and catching some fish, and they post it up on the Catfish Weekly Facebook page. Um, that'll be awesome. You know, we feel really good about the package we put together. Um, so there's a lot of people in chat. Thanks for everybody for showing up tonight and getting the chat going and watching the show with us. If anybody in chat has a subject they want us to talk about tonight, it's been in the news in the past or it's coming up here soon. Feel free to put it in there, and we'll try to get it talked about and let everybody know. Um, Before I hand it off to Lyle, there's one thing that I want to go over real quick. Some of the people that have passed away this past month or so. Ron Workman, you know, we talked about him once, but that's definitely a guy that needs to be talked about more than one time. He was just one of the most extraordinary gentlemen you'd ever meet in your life. He brought a smile to anyone's face. Um, enjoyed enjoyed life, enjoyed being around people, enjoyed really just having a good time. Dennis Ray, good good friend of mine. Um, Went fishing with him quite a bit. Lived just down the road from me. He unfortunately passed away as well recently. Brian Colbert and Brian Weinreich, I believe, aka Barney from Kentucky, I believe. Both also passed away this month as well. So um, we're sorry for the loss for the families, and you know these guys were cat fishermen. They were fishermen, part of the family, the brotherhood. A lot of people's going to miss them. You know, we hope that family members or somebody can go out and take a fishing trip in their honor and think of these guys and really just have a good time and sort of bring that person with them in spirit. So I bet they'd enjoy that a lot. Also, a couple other passings that unfortunately happened that we know about. Jason Malone's dog unfortunately passed away. His dog's name was Berkeley. She was a beautiful black lab. I've met the dog a few times. A great dog, you know. And these, you might be thinking it's a dog, you know, but if you have a dog or a cat or whatever, you know that these pets are they're part of the family. I mean, and they become really, really close. And to lose an animal, a pet that is, you know, almost like a son or a daughter or best friend, everything wrapped into one, it's hard. So Jason, we're sorry about Berkeley. It's too bad. We really were there for you. Ken Miller also had a dog that passed away called Buddy. Um, I believe Lyle knew Buddy and knew of Buddy too, and knows that Buddy been with Ken Miller for a long time and was a great dog.
I've heard some of the stories Ken's told about that dog, and I know they was very close. And you know, I have a 14-year-old dachshund sits here with me all the time, and he hardly has any teeth, and I carry him up and down the stairs. But you know, there will be a time for all of them, but they're like family members to all of us. And I know Ken was very close with his dog, and you know, it's a sad thing for all of us.
Yeah. I know Jason likes to tell a story about Berkeley. You know, the dog got its name, I believe. And I'm very sorry if I get the story wrong, but I know that one of the first times the dog got in the boat with Jason, knocked his favorite rod off the boat into the water, and of course it was a Berkeley rod, and so that's how Berkeley got her name. But yeah, she was a great dog. I enjoyed petting her, and she liked being on the boat. She liked being fishing with Jason, and you know he would tell me how whenever he was ready to go fishing, she was right there at the door and basically put that puppy dog look if she didn't get to go. You know, it was hard to leave. But that's all I have on that. Again, we're really sorry for all the people that were lost and the animals and pets that were lost as well. And like I said, we're here for you and thought. And if you guys have any pictures or anything you want to post on the website, you're more than welcome to. A little story with them, whatever.
Absolutely, that'd be good. You know, um, I've had some great Labradors in the past, and I haven't taken Rusty fishing for a long time because he got a hook in his eye once. But you know, a lot of these guys, Chris Jones comes to mind. He has a little dog that my understanding is she's pretty old, and Chris has taken her fishing with him for absolutely phenomenal amount of years, and they're best buds, and he takes some amazing photographs with that dog, and we would welcome you to put your pictures of your pets and your dogs and anything that you have on the Catfish Weekly page, and share them with all of us, because like I say, for the most part, they are family members, and you know, most of them dogs, they like to go fishing as much as anything.
Oh. Yep, I know that myself and Doug and Kathy, who's in the chat, and Alan, which is also family of Dennis, you know, we're probably going to go out at some point in the future, as soon as we can, probably, and we're going to go out and have a fishing trip and have Dennis with us in spirit and just really have a good time. And so, anyway, for going on and talking about some other stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off to you, Lyle, and you can get us rolling. And we've got plenty of stuff to talk about tonight.
You want
Probably,
me to just go
yep,
through my list, or you want to swap it off and on?
just swap off and on. Just pick one and talk about it, and then I'll pick one. And
Well, the first thing that I would like to talk about tonight is Cindy and I got some really good news today. Our daughter had a biopsy for cancer last week, and we've been kind of up in the air with this for 6 days. And I made a post earlier on Facebook, as most of us seems like our lives kind of revolve around that. And the amount of people that has either liked the post or commented on it, from Danny McGraw and Randy McWilliams, Bob Rossi, Steve Douglas, Rena Stitcher, and I know I'm not going to get everybody, Daniel Parsons, Jason Aycock, John Harden, Johnny Langston. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on. Johnny King, Justin Carter, Calvin Myers, Billy Sealock, Melissa Malcolm, Fred Bolton. Uh, it's overwhelming to me personally that many people took the time out to think about our family. This was pretty tough. We hadn't been through anything like that, and we really didn't let the cat out of the bag. And when you get that many people that care enough about you to take the time out for something like that, it really is kind of cool. So thank you all so much um, for thinking about us, and we're so glad that it's not anything that we can't deal with at this point. We'll go on and get her taken care of, and things will be all right. It's just so thankful that it's not cancer. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for thinking about us in this trying time that we went through this last week, and it means a great deal to Cindy and I. I'm sure more than you guys realize how much it really does mean.
yeah, and since you're on that subject a little bit, I know that I seen on Jeremy Gregg is in the chat as well, and I believe that I read on his Facebook post that he had a scare with some numbers where he thought he might have had to get back into the chemo, and come to find out the numbers bounced back for him, and I believe everything ended up turning around and it looks good from here. So I'm glad to hear that. If I'm thinking correctly, Jeremy, if I'm not, you can correct me, and I'm sorry, but I believe you said everything made a pretty quick turnaround on the numbers, and it looked like you were going to be good. So
Um, while we're at that, I would like to mention the fact that from what Calvin Meyer has went through, Calvin is doing very well with everything that has went on with him. The last I read, he had done very well, and his reports are all good. Calvin and Annie've been through a lot in the last year or so, and we're so glad that Calvin's doing good. And I know that there is a ton of people that are waiting to see him out in the boat catching fish next year.
I could be thinking wrong too. I could be thinking Jeremy and meant Calvin. It might have been
I think
Calvin.
he did, yeah.
If I apologize if that's the way it was. I knew I seen it and I didn't get it written down, so I was trying to go off memory, and there's reasons why, but I don't have a great memory.
Well, I understand.
But Jeremy Gregg, I do. Oh, that might be what it is. I have his name written down on my sheet here. Um, he wanted to let everybody know that the Wicked Whisker Tournament Trail out of Nebraska, the first tournament is on May 9th in Brownville. You can find out more information if you're friends with Jeremy Gregg on Facebook. You can probably contact him. Also, I got it at facebook.com/Wicked Whisker. So that's WICKEDWHISKER for after Facebook. So um, if you want any more information about that, if you're around Nebraska and you want to get into a tournament trail, that's probably one to look at. I've got plenty more to talk about. So Lyle, if you want to pick something off and
Um, I wanted to give a shout out to Mike, Sammy, and Jackson Mitchell. They are the winners of the Catfish Winners Circle Biggest Fish in Public Water Tournament for 2014, and congratulate them guys. That was an absolute giant fish they caught down there. If I remember correctly, it was on Wheeler Lake. They've been holding that position for months, a long time. And they will get a black horse rod. I will talk to Mike this week down there and see if he wants anything special put on the decal. And then the rod's built. The rod that I am taking to the Alabama Catfish Trail winter fishing for blues will be an exact replica of the rod that Mike will receive. And I just haven't put a decal on it. And at this point, we just had it posted up today, I believe, and I can't get one on it and get it dried in time to take down there. So I'll visit with him and see if he wants anything other than just the fact of what he won on it. And it'll be just like the one we bring down for Daniel and his tournament series. So congratulations to those guys. Great catch, great fish, and you fend everybody off for a whole year, so you done good.
I did just see on the chat there that people probably remember that we mentioned the Jason Malone's daughter, Brooke, with the GoFundMe project that they were needing some help with getting a machine for her. The project did reach its goal. They got enough money for that. So thank you to everybody, whether you watch the show or not. It was the Bioness, the Bioness unit that she needed, and she's got that now. They made the goal. Everybody that helped out from Catfish Weekly, that just lets you know what kind of guys we have around here. And I know there was some on there. I seen the names, and I know there was some anonymous, and I bet there was some anonymous from us. So
I'm sure.
thank you to the guys that did that. I know Jason appreciates it. He thanks you from the bottom of his heart. That just that helps out tremendously, especially when you have things like that right during Christmas, and it's just not an easy time. So that little bit of help, I'm sure, went a long way with him. Also, speaking of Jason and Heath, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it or not, but there's the old Indiana Hunter video on the Catfish Weekly page if you haven't seen it, from Heath doing his best catfish dance and if you listen real carefully, it's the Catfish Weekly theme song, the intro that we might be using here shortly, that he's dancing to. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, that's definitely a worthwhile video. And hey, if you guys think you can do a better job dancing to the video or to the music or whatever else to get the catfish to bite or whatever, take a video of it and send it in.
Oh, yeah.
We'll critique your dancing and
Well, and something else while we're on the subject, those guys, when you look at that, you can click on that video and you can pull their stuff up on YouTube. Them guys have some really good catfishing videos on their website, Indiana Hunter, on YouTube. They also have some great hunting videos for deer hunters, where they have killed some really nice deer with bow and gun. So take a look at Heath and Jason's stuff. It's very impressive. I watch their stuff just every once in a while to make sure I haven't missed something, but I was kind of taken with the dance. He did pretty good, I thought. So
yeah,
to me, coveralls. I mean, if you can dance in coveralls, you've done all right.
Yeah, and when he started doing the dance, it made a catfish bite. He got a bite, and he kept dancing, reeling a fish in.
Them guys are a hoot, man. They really are.
Yeah, and you guys, all the links that we have, our advertisers on the side of the page, they're paying good money to be there. So really, and we're only going to put them there if we believe in them and it's something we think you guys are going to like. We're not going to put, like Betty Crocker Pie's advertisements over there. I mean, even though those might be the greatest thing in the world, it's really not related in any way to what we're doing. So, trust in us that, if we put it up there, it might be something you'll like, and at least check it out. Click on those. That lets them know that, that what they're paying for to be on our site is actually worth it. If they're only getting, 5 or 10 clicks out of 6 months, they're not going to keep paying to be on our site. So definitely click on those links, get over to what they have, take a look, meander around a little bit, see what they have. Indiana Hunter is a great one. I mean, they have some awesome videos. They got Jason shooting a doe on the run with a recurve bow. I mean, they've got catfishing videos where they're just sitting and they're actually talking about what they're doing exactly, and having a good time. And it's well lit. They got some great cameras where they got them a camera right on the net to where they can show you when they're netting the fish, and one that's back behind them, one that might be on their hat or whatever. He's even got videos of like kids fishing clinic type things, I believe, where he used a drone and aerial footage, and they really put a lot of effort and work into their videos, so people can enjoy them, and that's the type of videos that I think people would enjoy more if they knew what was there.
I agree. And like I say, they do a really good job. They spend a lot of time making sure it's the way it needs to be. Another thing, while I see it before it scrolls off and I miss it, Brad Gilman wants to know, get ready for the bikini dance, and I'm thinking that would be between you and Rob Clodfeller. You guys was on the deal about you wearing the bikini top and bottom, and I don't know if he was going to wear one. I don't remember, but I'm thinking that would be something that you guys might want to talk about this weekend while we're all together.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. We'll see either just how rich Rob is, and
oh man,
or just how disgusting people can tolerate. I don't know.
You didn't read the fine print when you signed that contract, did you, Fudd?
I guess not. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I guess I don't, like Lyle said, it's. We might have some fine print for Rob. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh.
Me and Rob will be doing a wet T-shirt contest or something. I don't.
That'll be all right.
But
Show us your man boobs.
I ain't got no man boobs.
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, another thing on our website, if some people might have noticed, Vince Nadowski posted up a picture of his brand new jersey, and he actually had the Catfish Weekly logo put on his jersey, and it looks pretty good, and we really appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Vince. And if anybody else is interested, just get a hold of me, and I can make sure that you get a vectorized logo that you can have put on your jersey if you get one made this year.
That does look pretty nice on that. Yeah, it's probably going to make Vince look better.
Rob says I haven't been in a bikini in years. I want to know how he knows I was ever in one.
He surely has some pictures of you that you might not remember, but if he does, I encourage him to share them with the rest of us.
All right, let's see. We got a lot of people talking in chat. If you got something else, you can go ahead with it, Lyle.
Jeremy Coddington, his wife ordered a rod from me for Jeremy for Christmas. It was kind of funny, the fact that it was at his house and he didn't know about it. And when he found out about it, he was excited. She gave it to him, and the last couple of days he's put that thing to use. I don't know if anybody has seen the pictures that I posted today that he had sent me, but the first picture was a 25-pound blue that he caught on that rod right off the bat today, and it wasn't but just a minute that he sent me another picture of a 35-pound flathead. I was very impressed with the fact that he caught a flathead this time of the year. If I'm trying to remember, and I've had so much stuff going on, I just can't remember, but I think he's in Indiana or Ohio, and that's a really good flathead for January. I mean, we're looking at last of December, 1st of January, to put a flathead like that in a boat. That's just simply amazing. Congratulations, Jeremy, on some great fish.
Yeah, he's in North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay. I know Callie and I, we had a good time with getting that rod, so he didn't know it, and there were some other guys that had deals like that going on, and we didn't post a lot of the pictures about them to make sure that things was done the way it was supposed to be, and I'm trying to think of the other guy's name. That it was really funny. His wife had it laying right in front of his nose, and he didn't even know it. For some reason, the name eludes me, but it was a great amount of fun with that kind of stuff through the holidays. And Claude Reynolds is who I'm trying to think of, and Claude's wife had the rod out in the garage, and I guess, of course, he probably goes in and out of that garage all the time, didn't even realize it was there, and Claude done an outstanding thing. He had a friend that is in the National Guard in training for National Guard, and for Christmas he ordered his friend a National Guard theme rod, and we built it, and it turned out very nice. I was very proud to be honored to do that. And he wanted to give it to Cody for Christmas. And while we was doing it, his wife contacted me about doing one for Claude. So I sent her a message. I said, "Can I put them in the same tube, or would you prefer that I ship them separately?" And she said, "No, just go ahead and put them in there. If he gets to it," she said he'll just have an early Christmas present. Well, as it worked out, he didn't get to the mail. She did, so she took his rod out, sealed the tube back up, and and he found Cody's and liked it and give it to him, and then a couple of days later he got it, and it was a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing things like that for people, and we're so happy that they choose us and give us an opportunity to do something like that for them, and I hope they all enjoy everything. And Claude, he told me online the other day that he hated me, but he liked his rod. So because I didn't tell him, I guess, but I'll be seeing him this week, and I'm excited, and I'm glad that he liked his new rod.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was following that he got his friend that, and he got himself one, and well, apparently we maxed out our chat room.
Really?
That's what it said. Let me, if you got something else you can talk about, let me see if I can't get that updated to.
Chuck, let's talk about winter blues at Wheeler. Are you ready? Mike Mitchell has been putting some great fish in the boat, as with some other guys down there. From what I'm seeing on this weather coming in, it's going to be raining next Saturday, and the wind's going to be blowing. How do you think that's going to affect the tournament?
Well, it's really going to affect the way I fish totally. I think it's going to put a big hamper on it. The wind's going to make it really, the current has a lot to do with it also.
Now, you broke up, and I didn't hear anything you said. I don't know if anybody else did or not.
The current's going to current.
I still didn't get anything from you, Chuck.
Did you hear me, Fudd?
No, you're breaking out pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, the wind and the current both is going to have a lot to do with how this tournament turns out. It's going to really affect the way I fish and the plans that I had for Saturday. So I guess I'm gonna have to change some things up, but it's still going to be fun. It gets very dangerous out there when the winds get really bad, especially when you're anchored up and the current's flowing to the east and the wind's blowing out of the west. I've had a couple of swells actually break the back of my boat before that. If I didn't cut the anchor rope, I would have been probably a goner in one more wake. So, everybody just to pay attention on how big them swells start getting and the way you position your boat, and also using those rear anchors. And if the front anchor breaks away and that boat turns around and all of a sudden the back of your boat's pointed up current, that could turn out bad too. With the wind blowing like it's supposed to be, I'm sure a lot of guys are going to have wind socks and back anchors hanging everywhere. So I just want everybody to be careful and pay attention to what's going on around them.
Absolutely, that's good advice. Chuck, I know that you're extremely familiar with that lake, and there's some guys going to be down there that's fished it quite a lot, and a lot of us have never been there before. What do you think it's going to take to win that tournament?
Well, I'm not real familiar with the upper part of Wheeler. I'm not, that part of Wheeler. I've only been up there about 2 or 3 times, but I fished below the Gunnersville Dam on the about a 7-mile stretch up through there. I've been fishing there my whole life, but from the looks of it, I believe it's going to take 200 pounds easy, and that's even on a bad day. With the winds
Are we
going
talking about 5 fish limit, Chuck?
Yes, it's going to be 5 fish. You're going to have 2 over 34 and 3 under.
Okay.
I expect to see The person winning coming in with a couple of in the 70s. Um, and then having one or two nice unders. That there's probably going to be a single big fish coming in, high 80s or 90s, I believe.
Do you happen to know what the water temperature is down there by chance?
I have no idea. When I was on Gunnersville last week, it was 48. Maybe Jason Adcock and Justin Browning are both in the chat, and they were both here this week, so um, they probably got some pretty up to date water temps for us if they'll put them up.
While we're on the subject of that, we try to mention everybody's name that puts some good fish in the boat over the week, previous week. And Jason, his son Carson, and I don't recall the guy's name that was with them. Man, they was down there and they put some giants in the boat. They really had a good time down there. That Carson, he's a machine on the big fish, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's on it. He let his dad reel one in though.
That's pretty good of him to take the time to uh, let Jason reel one in because I'm pretty sure that boy gets wound up over them fish. What did he catch, a 69 something? That's just outstanding.
Yeah, he was on it. Yeah, the water temps are probably 47 or 48.
Justin Browning says 51.3.
51.3.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's some good drifting and dragging temperatures right there.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of us are really excited to get there, especially a bunch of us first timers that's not ever been to Wheeler. And I'm excited. We wasn't 100% sure we was going to get to go, but we're going to load up in the morning and head your way. So make room, Big Daddy.
Yeah, I ended up, going ahead and getting a room for 4 nights. Going ahead and get away because the way I thought about it, if I drove up to pre-fish one day, it's 2.5 hours each way. That'd be a tank of gas each way pulling the boat, so that's going to be, $90. And then I have to pull a boat up there and back tournament day, which would be another $90. So that right there is a room for 4 nights right there. I'm still gonna have to pull the boat up there and then pull it back, but
Right, but you won't have to do it.
right, and I'll have more time to fish. I'm really wanting to go hit Wilson really bad, which hopefully I'll be able to fish it Wednesday afternoon or Thursday. It was on my list to fish this year, and I went below the dam and fished for skipjack down there a couple of times, but I never got to go catting like I was wanting to. So hopefully I can get up in there and
I see that
see what
Ched
some
has
looks.
made a post on the chat that their best five over the weekend was 190 pounds and their big fish was 52.2. Jason Acock says, yeah, Carson finally did let him catch one, but Carson's big fish weighed 69.3. That's just absolute great fish. Just a
Oh
great
yeah,
fish.
the one he caught last year on his first day, it was like 90 pounds. And there's a picture of Jason holding it, and I think there's a picture of Carson holding it, sitting down in the back of the boat with it sitting in his lap.
Exactly. I remember that picture.
So
Those guys
you
put
can
their
really get spoiled.
they put their time in and they do a really outstanding job, and I'm not sure if they're going to be there for the tournament or not. I'm kind of anxious to meet Carson and visit with him a little bit. Of course, I'd like to visit with Jason also, but I really like to sit down and visit with Carson a little bit and talk to him about some stuff and maybe he could tell me how they get it. Because hell, Jason ain't gonna tell me how they get on the fish, but maybe I could hoodoo it out of Carson. Maybe you never know.
Yeah. Um, Justin said the water temp around Browns Ferry was 53.
Okay, where does Browns
So that's
Ferry?
probably that's that blue building that belongs to me.
Don't tell me nothing. You're gonna have to be a little more specific in that.
It's a Browns Ferry nuclear plant, and it's got cooling pipes that come out into the water.
Okay, I've seen that
It's
on the
got
map.
it's got suction pipes up above the plant, and then they pull water through to cool the reactors, and
Oh,
then they send the water out. And there's 3 different discharges across the channel, and it's right across the main channel. You got one pretty close. It's into the bank from the channel edge a little bit. And then some most time they're just running one, but a lot of times you'll go out there and they'll be running all 3. And you got warmer water in that area, and also you got those big pipes laying down, which those big cats can get down there on the edge of them big old pipes, and got a good current break, good ambush spots and stuff down there. And there's been quite a few triple digits pulled out of there. I know 6 that I know of have come out of that one spot.
That's pretty nice.
I'm not sure if any of them were ever the same fish, which is very possible. But 101s, 102s. Russ DeVore's came out of that one spot too. You remember his?
I do, and
Didn't he get a triple right there?
I understand that old Russ is going to be down there this weekend. Now, I know Russ pretty good, and if there is a more full of it guy that'll be at that tournament, I don't know who it could possibly be than old Russ DeVore.
I've never met him before. So.
Oh, I'll make sure it happens this week. You'll love him. He's a great guy. He's a hell of a fisherman. He's been involved in the Monster Cat DV. He guides. He takes people out fun fishing. He wins a lot of tournaments, and he's one of the genuine good guys in the sport.
I just want to let everybody know, I believe we're paying more a month now, but I got our chat thing updated to where it'll hold up to 50 people now. So if anybody that wasn't able to get in because we were maxed out at the 25, you should be able to get in now.
26.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I was wanting to. It just told me that it was updated on the back end, so I was thinking it should be working now.
How many was on there last week? 25.
A lot.
I bet it was maxed out last week too. So
I bet it was. I never thought about it.
It was just time for us to get it up there. I didn't want to be paying for it if we didn't need it, so now we need it, and I got it up. So.
Yeah. Well, you remember a while back when Jason Bridges took out the end fisherman, Doug Stange. Jason put some airing dates on his Wheeler Cats Guide Service site on some of the air times when that end fisherman show is going to be coming on. I from the looks of it, they're going to have some of Jason's tips and stuff on some different shows, and then the actual episode that they fished is going to be February, March time frame, and the tips are going to be, I guess, January, February time frames. But all the times for the Sportsman Channel are on the Wheeler Guide Service site, and so when you're there looking at all them big fish, get on there and write down when these airing times for these shows are going to come on, because it's going to be a really good show.
I agree. That ought to be a great show. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Not sure how I'm going to go about seeing it since we don't get that anymore, but I'll make it happen one way or the other.
Them two fishing together. By watching a lot of the end fisherman shows with Doug Stain, it shows Jason holding fish. So Jason was fishing along right with him, and I bet it was a good time in that boat.
I seen part of. They had a little clip from it today, and it was really good. Jason actually caught a couple of fish, and I am very happy with the fact that In Fisherman is starting to give blues and flatheads their due. I know they do a lot of channel cat fishing shows, not nearly enough because for some reason they think that walleye and muskie and pike are actually a competitive fish to a catfish, but they come down and fish with Jason, and they fished with Ryan Casey, and they're finally given the big cats the notoriety that they deserve. I mean, I don't care what anybody in fishing says. No bass, no walleye, no crappie, no pike, no muskie could compare to the fight that a blue will give you in heavy current. It just is not ever going to happen. So inshore fishing, the number one fight fish there is, period, is a big blue or flathead in heavy current on a river. I mean, they can say what they want to. They need to step up and fess up to the fact that what we fish for are the king of fish in inshore water. Did y'all leave me?
No, we're here. I guess there's some people that are still getting they're still getting the error.
They may have to refresh or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He said even after he's refreshed.
Well, he may have to minimize the chat and bring it back up with a new one or something.
Yeah, it says there's 26 online now, so I mean it's
I don't
showing
know. They
that
may be counting you, the moderator. They may not count the moderator.
No, I don't think so. No, because it was showing 25 a minute ago. Now it's showing 26 again.
Right.
And it may take a little bit to get it all bounced in there.
Yeah, Anthony. Only thing I could say maybe is to completely close down your browser, and open it back up. Try it again. Maybe try to hit F5 while you're on the page, and that should do a refresh. Besides that, I think that's all I can do from my end right now. It might be your catch or something like that, but hopefully, I apologize that you couldn't get in tonight if you can't, but hopefully next week it'll.
Ron Streeter says he had to get all the way out and get back in so he could turn it back on.
Yeah, so all the way out, all the way back in. Try that. Robert got back in. There's 28 online now, so yeah, we're definitely there. I think.
Awesome.
There you go. All right. I know I missed out a little bit on some of that, so I do know that I have another thing on my list here. Robert Tallman. He wanted to let everybody know Natural State Catfishing Tournament Series starts February 21st at Lake Wachita, I believe is how you would say it. It's Ouachita, so I'd call it Wachita or Wakita, one or the other. That's Brady Mountain Resort. There's 4 different chapters in all over the parts of the sections of Arkansas. So if you're friends with him, Robert Tallman on Facebook, you can probably get hold of him for more information. Or maybe look up Natural State Catfishing. They might have a Facebook page. I'm not sure. But that's I know there's, like he was saying, there's 4 different series. I'm believing like northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest type of thing. So they're going to have 4 complete different chapters covering the entire state, with each chapter having their own series of tournaments. So not to make it so that people have to drive too far or anything, and they can have a bunch of tournaments in their local waters and close by to help out. And they probably did that before gas decided to take a crap, which is absolutely amazing, because I pulled into the gas station and gave the guy $50, and he looked at me funny, and I'm like, It'll take it, and believe it or not, I could only put $48 in my truck, and I about crap my pants. I was just like, there's no way. It's been years since I've only been able to put $48 in my truck.
You know, they can still sell blue gas for $1.50 a gallon and make a very nice profit, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, you know, that's something we'll have to deal with as sportsmen if we want to continue doing what we do.
Well, I mean, I'm happy right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
$1.89, $1.99 or something around here right now, and that's just, you know.
When it hit $1.99, I took the boat out and filled it up because you don't know from one week to the next what it's going to be like.
Yeah, well, from what my understanding is that it's the shell oil that's doing it, and that they're predicting that it's going to be low for a year or longer. So
that's the case.
I do too.
Well, by then it'll be time for elections to start rolling in, and
yeah,
you know that's the reason that stuff happens. If you watch it, it kind of goes in a pattern like that. But
I remember back in my day, we used to pay $1.
Well, when I turned 16, I've told this story a lot of times, and I'm not promoting that anybody smokes, so don't read something into it it's not. But when I turned 16, you could buy a pack of cigarettes or a gallon of gas, made no difference, it's 35 cents.
I used to walk buck naked, uphill both ways, 14 miles.
I didn't do that. I did not do that. Chuck, did you do that?
Backwards through the cornfield.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
You know what? Like I say, we try to mention as many people on the show. I know you go through the people that post pictures and stuff on there, and I try to bring up guys that are catching fish and stuff. And I know Craig Shoemate is going to be down at Wheeler this weekend. He lives over by Jeff City, Columbia area, and I met him over there at Tombstone Tackle the other day. I visited with him a little bit. And Craig has really been on some good fish again. I mentioned him last week. He had been on some great fish at Lake the Ozarks and on the Missouri River. I don't believe this week he put the big ones in like he had been putting in. But numbers, I mean, this guy is on fire. He's going to be somebody to deal with down there when we get to Wheeler.
Yeah, there's a little youth pro staffer from Whiskerware that that really turned it on this week with his daddy. These guys are very impressive. Their dads are spending a lot of time with them. These guys, when they get 11th and 12th grade, they're going to be able to take these boats out by themselves and actually do tournaments. If they keep spending as much time as they do with their dads, they can actually be able to do this stuff on their own.
That's exactly right. Now, since you brought that up, and I had intended to, but I'm glad that you did. We was absolutely back and forth. We knew that we wanted to put this program together with these kids, and Rob and I had talked about it several times, and we are looking at a lot of kids. The support that we're getting on this project is astronomical. I had a guy call me the other day. In fact, I'll just tell you who it was. It was Randall McDaniel. Called me about a young man in his area. He knew nothing about the fact that the kid the youngster had already sent us some paperwork, and Randall was bragging this young man up. And I visited with his mother online the other night, and very impressive. I'm excited to meet him, visit with him. But Jacob's thing that we posted the other day, yesterday, it was actually less than 30 hours ago. That was the first attempt of anything like this that Jacob had done. Though that what he put in there was in his own words. He sent to me in an email, and I copied it and pasted it on my post. In less than 30 hours, there has been 1,773 hits on that post. Now, I don't get near the hits on the stuff that I put on Black Horse Rod sites, pictures or posts or anything. Nothing near that. Vince's stuff that he does for me far outweighs anything that I do, because he just does such nice work, and people are glad to see something besides the crappy old pictures that I take. But 1,773 hits on that. It tells me that people really do care that these kids are wanting involved in catfishing. Uh, I'm just blown away with that. Thank everybody for taking a look at it. I know Jacob's really excited. He called me today and wanted to know if I thought it was okay, and I said, dude, 1,700 people has looked at your post. Yeah, it's okay. Keep doing what you're doing. We're so proud to have you a part of this. And when the weather breaks and Milan gets to go out fishing and we see the flatheads that that girl catches, you guys are going to be impressed. I mean, they put some great fish in the boat up in Pennsylvania. So the things with these kids is going to get bigger and better. And this is the future of our sport. We need to support these guys any way we can. Like I said last week or week before, if there is anybody that would like to be a part of this and help these kids out, please contact me. We would like to do all for them that we can. In years to come, when the Aaron Wheatleys and the Steve Douglases and the Lyle Stokes and the blah, blah this and blah, blah that are dead and gone, these are going to be the guys that take over what we do to fight for regulations, to be against pay lakes, to be for all the things that we hold true to our heart. And we need to make sure these kids have got all the tools they can have to carry on what we started. So, you know, if you're interested, give me a shout.
And you know what I was just thinking about?
What's that, buddy?
I believe Stitcher and Milan don't live terribly far from each other. Well, if we get them in the boat together,
you know, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Well, they're good kids, and there's several other good kids that's coming up and along. Mike Mitchell's son. I mean, he put some great fish in the boat. Carson Aycock. I mean, Brent Riddle's son. Some of them's names elude me, so please don't get mad. There's a lot of them. You never see enough of them at these tournaments, and people, I know that it costs money to take these kids in tournaments, but we got to keep them interested. Every day that you take them kids out fishing is a day they're not playing video games on their computer. I mean, it is the greatest thing that you can do for them. And if we can keep Jacob and Milan and Carson and these people involved in fishing, when we're gone, they'll pick up and they'll fight them pay lakers and they'll fight commercial fishermen and they'll stand up for the things that we believe in because we'll have taught them the right way. So kudos to them guys and good job, Jacob. We're very proud of you.
I gotta look. Somebody else just got in on the contest. Remember, guys, that we're doing the giveaway drawing at the end of this show, so if you're not in it, you better get in it soon. So right now I can tell you we have, with the Superfan entries, 82 entries. So the biggest giveaway so far for Catfish Weekly history, and definitely one to go down in the books. And
so, Chris, what number is this?
Number what?
Catfish Weekly Show.
49.
49.
Technically 49 videos from Catfish Weekly. So out of this year, we missed 3 for a 52-week. That's not bad.
Not too bad for first year.
You know,
and we're going to get better. You know.
Yep. So I say, we're not even in our growth year yet. You know, we've got a good base group of fans and guys that jump in the chat and go along with us for the ride, and it's getting bigger, it seems, every week.
Chris, we got guys asking how to get in on the contest. Please go through that with them right now before it's too late so they get a chance to get in on it.
On our Facebook page or our group, either one, on both of them. We have a group and we have a page, Catfish Weekly. You look it up on the top in the Facebook. Go to either one of the pages. You look for a contest, Christmas contest picture. Look down through the posts. You'll see one's it's green and red, Christmassy looking. Got a bunch of Santa hats on the pictures of us, and you go to that picture, you post on there. with what you like about the show, what you'd like to see it have on there if we haven't done it. Just basically general feedback for us to help make the show better for next year. Post that, and if it's on there and I see it by the time I do the drawing, you'll get in. If you're a super fan, I believe most of our super fans are all in there right now, so I don't think I'd be able to make anybody a super fan and give you the super fan extra entry, but super fans do get a bonus entry to every contest. And your super fan entry is good for 1 year from the day you got it, not calendar year. So basically, if you want to get in after this drawing and you want to make sure that you have double entries for all the rest of next year's contests that we do, and we're going to be doing contests, and we've already got some things lined up for you guys that it'd definitely be worth that $10. I can tell you that right now. So if you wanted to do that, you can get with me, or you can look on our forums, and you'll find out information on how to get into the Superfan Club for a year. And that also comes with discounts on Whiskerware apparel, discount on Black Horse Custom Rod. It easily pays for itself with just the discount. So, yeah, I believe that's all you got to do. If you cannot figure out how to find that post, you can send me a PM on Facebook. Send me a PM with your information, and I'll try to put it down and get you in there. But you need to do that really quick. Chris Wallace is who you would look for on Facebook, or you can email it to me really quick if I see it. Fudd I think it's Fudd at catfishweekly.com. But yeah, that's how you can get in there. We have 82 right now. 82 with superfan entries.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy with that. That to me is a great response to what we're trying to do, and thank everybody for jumping in on there. I know that you're trying to win something, but the feedback that you have given us, I've read all of it. There is some very good stuff, and Chris and I talked about this afternoon. We're going to go back through this stuff after the Wheeler trip and sit down and discuss a lot of this stuff. And I know Chuck will probably get it with us, and we will try to make adjustments and figure out what we need to do to shows and subjects and topics and different things to try to make it better to where we can do more of what you want and what needs to be done to make it better for everybody.
Mr. Malone, what time's the drawing? We're not going to give you time so you can leave and come back right for the drawing. It's going to happen when it happens, naturally.
Which one was that?
What's that?
Which Malone?
Oh, that's Jason.
Oh, Jason. I thought maybe he was just messing with you. He is just messing with you. And he does mess with you.
No, he don't mess with me. I don't mess with them. They don't mess with me.
I got to tell you, I got an inside track on some of that action.
No. But I have, like, just so people know, you know, if they see me doing stuff all the time, I've got 2 computer monitors going. I have 3 or 4, or sometimes 5 chat boxes from Facebook. I also got the chat box from the website going. So I do have people that chat with me through the show and whatnot, and I try to do the best I can at looking at everything and keep the show going and all that. One of the other things I was going to talk about is I believe it's Doug Smith from the Catfish magazine on our website in the top right corner. The digital magazine that they have right now that's free to sign up for. He really is interested in getting a actual physical magazine started, but what he needs from us is to people that would show that they are interested, and basically to email him saying, yes, I'd be interested in a physical subscription to Catfish magazine. He's told me a little bit about the prices, but I don't want to go into that too much right yet because it's a little bit on the higher side right now, and it all depends on how many subscriptions they get right off the bat on how much the subscription price would be. But let me see if I can put this up here for everybody. I don't know why, but my mouse it double clicks right now. But let's see here. I'm gonna do text and high velocity media 1 at gmail.com. All right, now if you can see this, I don't really know why it did it like that, but can you guys see that on the chat? The high velocity media 1 at gmail.com, and I'm sort of moving it around, and can you see that?
I see it.
All right. Yeah, that's the email that he wants you to send an email to. Just send him an email and say, yes, I'd be interested in a physical copy and subscription to Catfish Magazine. If we generate enough interest, then they will look at really getting a physical copy out to people in the mail. So while you're sitting on the toilet, you can read Catfish Magazine, or while you're doing whatever you're doing. That's where I read my magazines. I don't know about you guys.
Well, it don't matter which one you email to.
They're both the same one. It just looked like I tried to get one, you know.
That's a really good online thing. It really is. They do an outstanding job. There's some really well-written articles in there. It's worth taking a minute to take a look at that stuff. You know, I promise you, if it wasn't something that we all thought was really good, we wouldn't be telling you about it. But it's very nice. And Doug seems to be a really good guy, very knowledgeable also about what's going on. Hey, I'm going to try to do something here, Chris. I'm not sure that I can get it done, but I'm going to try. It'll probably be upside down, but I'm going to try to show you guys a picture of what's coming to Wheeler Lake. Can you? I don't know if you can see it or not. It's black and orange, non-trigger reel seat, and then there's the.
Hang on. I must have.
Can you see that at all?
There you go.
It should make somebody a really nice rod. I'm not sure how Daniel's going to give it away. I did know, but hell, I've got so much stuff going on I can't remember. But this is the blank. It's a built-on a blank like the Black Cat is made on, except for the fact that it's 8 foot instead of 7.6. Kind of a special thing for the guys down at the tournament. So I want everybody to that's down there to make sure that they get a shot at winning this bad boy.
Yeah, that looked like pretty nice. I like the colors on that.
That'll be the same exact rod that Mike Mitchell receives. It's already built just identical to that. I just have to put a decal on it, and I'll discuss that with him this weekend while I'm down there to see if he, you know, because it didn't take me any more to do one if he wants the names on it or whatever, other than it does just to throw one on it like I did for Daniel. So that's what Mike's going to be getting to. It's kind of hard to do that in this confined area I have.
Yeah. All right. Before we get on to the two main subjects of the night, do you have anything else on your topics, or are you?
I think I've got everything covered. I think I've got everything covered that we needed to discuss.
Okay.
From my view.
One of the last main topics of the night that are not main topics, but sort of off topics of events that have happened this month. The ICA, the Indiana Catfish Association, did have their meeting and determined the tournament dates for the year. So if everybody's ready, I'm going to go ahead and run through these dates and tell you where they're at. I don't have written down on here exactly which ones are open. Possibly um, Ron or somebody in chat can let me know exactly which ones are open. I can tell you um, March 21st is the Turtle Creek. That's the tournament that is normally 100+ boats, $10 entry fee. Hoosier Energy adds like $2,000 or $2,500 to the pot. That's the one me and my wife got second place in last year. It's a fun little tournament. April 11th, Worthington, and that's going to be a 7:30 to 5:30 daytime tournament. April 25th, a couple weeks later, is Geist. Again, 7:30 to 5:30. May 2nd, Grandview. That's the Ohio River. That's going to be the night tournament, 7:30 to 7:30. June 13th, Maxencucky. Also night tournament, 7:30, 7:30. June 27th, New Albany, Indiana, night tournament. July 11th, Broad Ripple. That's in Indianapolis on the White River. That's also a night tournament, 7:30 to 7:30. August 8th is the Flathead Bash at Duffy's Landing on the Ohio River, night tournament, 7:30 to 7:30. August 22nd is Lake Lemon, again a night tournament. That is going to be 7:30, 7:30. September 5th, Angel Mounds. That's the first one that switches back over to the day tournament, 7:30 to 5:30. I believe, yeah, the 24th and the 25th of October is going to be our classic, our final points tournament, and then our classic on Lake Monroe. And again, those will be daytime tournament hours, so 7:30 to 5:30. And then November 7th is an open on Morse Lake. So there's the ICA's tournament dates. There was a few rule changes this year in the ICA. The one that I have already talked about a little bit was allowing the kids to be in the boat, whether they're your children or any children. So it could be family members' kids, your neighbors' kids, whatever. We're just trying to make it easier for kids to be out there and enjoying the fishing with us. We did also agree to basically mimic the Kentucky laws for the Ohio River. So when we're fishing the Ohio River, we follow the Kentucky state catfish regulations. Also, we dropped the fish from a 6-fish limit to a 5-fish limit to help with basically the overall health of the fish and the ability to keep fish healthier in live wells. So hopefully that will help out, and we'll see how that goes this year. And a few other things, but those were the oh yeah, there's a new thing also. What I believe they're doing is the $10 temporary membership, a 1-day membership that allows a person, and it used to be the $25 membership that somebody would have to pay regardless. What we're doing now is a $10 temporary membership that if that person chooses to fish that tournament as a $10 temporary member, they basically get no points, and there's an extra 10% taken out of the pot that goes to the club. You know, and that's if they go and they fish another tournament. If they decide they want to fish all the rest of them and they want to be a full member, they have to pay the $25 full membership fee. If they realize that they're only going to fish 2 tournaments and they want to fish and spend the $10 on each tournament as a temporary member, they can do that. It helps us with keeping track of points and stuff. We don't have to keep track of points that aren't full members. Also, they're not they're not included in any big fish pots that we do or anything like that. Not, I mean, they're in for the big fish pot of the tournament, but as a club year-long standing record, they're not into those. So it basically can make it a little cheaper for the guys that are local and they're only going to fish 1 or 2 tournaments. It can get them in, show them what we're doing, and not have them have to pay $50 extra per boat with 2 guys that aren't members. They only got to pay $20 if they want. And then if they get into the money, they just have a 10% also that gets bumped off of their winnings. That's all it is. So it's an interesting idea. It's a concept that you haven't seen around too much, so we'll just see again how that goes this year. And I believe that's it for the main rules on the ICA. Now, for some of the things, there's been 2 hot topics in Facebook and the things going on. We'll just say one of them is posting pics and videos online, and on Facebook and things like that. So I'll let you go ahead and get started with this topic if you want, Lyle.
Well, there was a post made and people talking about different things and spots and it's I think everything's gone now. But Chris and I talked about this last night a little bit, and we just wanted to bring it up to the public. Basically, that my feeling about my spot on the river. Of course, if I'm catching fish, I'll tell everybody the spot. It don't matter to me. I don't care who goes there. I don't care how many goes there. But some people take that very seriously, and one of the things that I hate more than anything is to see people have problems with their friendships over fishing. A lot of times people get upset with other people, and I'm not naming names. I'm not making this specific to nobody. I'm just saying your friendships are worth more than a fish. They're worth more than a fishing spot. Bear that in mind. I go out and catch a fish today. If somebody asks me where I catch it, it kind of bothers me that they would ask me, but I'll tell them. That is public water. It is not like you lease a hunting area and you're going in there knowing nobody else should be in there. If you don't want somebody to fish a spot that you fish, don't ever take them there. Don't ever take a picture where it would incriminate that spot to where somebody else would know where it was at. One of my favorite things to do if I'm hot on a spot before a tournament, I'll cake them fish and I'll go someplace where the Asian carp is stacked in so thick that they can't even run a boat up in there, and that's where I'll take the picture of the fish. That way, if they want to fight them Asians to try to catch that fish, that's great. Most of the time, I'll take the fish back where I caught it and to release it. But that fish will go back to that spot regardless, or to another spot similar to it. They're not going to. It doesn't hurt them to release them 2 or 3 miles down the road. One of the things that, like I said, the main thing that concerned me, good friends are way important than any 70, 80, 100-pound fish. I would much rather have my friendship with people than any fish or any fishing spot. I know some of the guides get aggravated. I know some of the guys in tournaments get aggravated. Somebody with a hot boat runs in ahead of them, gets into a spot. That's poor sportsmanship. That somebody would know that you're pulling into a spot, and because they have seen you in that spot, they got a faster boat. They pull right in front of you and anchor up. That's poor sportsmanship to do you that way. If you're pulling into that spot, they ought to have the courtesy to go on somewhere else. Now, if they just flat beat you to that spot, that's part of fishing public water. Now, like I say, I do not want to upset anybody, not calling anybody out, not bringing up any names, but bear in mind, these are public waters, and I promise you that if 10 of us went to a tournament next week, and it was on a 50,000 lake impoundment. Just as an example, there's going to be 4 or 5 spots that we all find that hold fish, and at some time during the day, we're all going to go over that spot. Whether it be at the same time or not, I can't tell you that. But the guys that are going to find the fish are going to find them, regardless if you show it to them or not. And I just I don't think that if I took a guy out fishing today, it would bother me a little bit if he called his buddy up and took him out to that same spot tomorrow and caught a bunch of fish and took them home to eat. That would bother me a little bit. But most of the guys that I fish with, they catch and release, and I really, I went with some pretty big fishermen over the years, and I never went back and fished their spots. I took them to some of my spots. They, I don't know if they went back out, but it doesn't matter. If I didn't want them to know about that spot, I wouldn't have took them there to begin with. And my thing that got to me most of all over reading some of this stuff, and there's been 3 or 4 posts like this in the last few weeks. I just can't believe that people would lose great friendships over a fish. Even when in a tournament, I would hate to think that the people that I hold dear to me, I would lose a friendship over a fish or a tournament or anything like that. The friendship I have with Chris and Chuck and all you guys in chat, Justin Browning, I've only met him once, and I feel like him and I are pretty good friends. I mean, we got along down there at Aaron's tournament in Owensboro. I can pull up and talk to him. It's just like I talked to him for years, and I've talked to him on the phone before. And Brian Sanders, another great guy. I mean, these people, I would not make them mad over a fish. I just ain't going to make them kind of people mad over a fish. And please bear in mind that how much your friendships are really worth before you get mad at somebody. And like I say, if somebody's taking you to a spot, respect what they want. If they ask you not to go or take somebody there, please do that. If they don't, it's like I say, it's kind of public water. You got to have respect for each other. You should discuss this before you go out to a spot. But more than anything, don't upset friendships over any fish. Any fish, I don't care if it's a new world record. Your friends are worth a lot more than that fish is, and that's the point that I want to make. And I know Chris has got some comments on the subject, and probably Chuck, but I hold my friendships, especially in the catfishing world, so close and so dear to me. I would do anything to keep what Cindy and I have worked so hard to get, and I wouldn't trade any fish for any one of the friends that we've made in this industry. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, and me taking off of where you said, I know I'm probably gonna repeat some of the things that you said, but like Lyle said, especially everybody watching the show, we're not naming names because we have friends that that were involved in it. We don't want to, the whole situation, we want to be a learning experience. We want people to grow from it. We're not trying to throw stones. We're not trying to say, getting mad doesn't happen. But also when it happens, and we have a segment called What's Up, and it has to do with big events, something like that is really a big event, and it has to be talked about, and hopefully other people can even they might have commented on it, they might have thought about it one way, and maybe when we talk about it and we put a different light on it, it gets looked at a different way, and maybe people can come to a common understanding or a common ground on it. I can tell you that any good fisherman in a tournament, if I'm sitting and I'm sitting across the way and I see a boat over on the other side of the river and they're just slaying them, I mean, I'm not going to jump over there and get right below them. I'm not going to get right next to them, right above them. I'm not going to do that. But if I'm at that same stretch of river a month later in a different tournament and I get up there, there's nobody there, I'm going to look and see what that person was fishing. And if it looks good, I'm probably going to fish it. I mean, that's a good sportsmanship. That's observation. That's how. I mean, yeah, I didn't find the spot myself, but I had the observation of to see what was going on around me.
Well, a lot
Um,
of times I think what happens is if I see you over someplace looking at a spot, uh, and you're on fish, I may run over there not necessarily to fish that area, but to see what is there, and then go find me a spot like that.
yeah, exactly. I
You
mean,
know,
there's
and
a
I
lot of
did.
learning.
I said I was done, but I have one other point. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chris, but you and I talked about this, and we discussed this with Chuck because it was a debate whether we'd even bring this subject up. But I asked Cindy, and Cindy is my best friend, my partner. She's everything that I ever hoped to be. She is the reason for it. And I asked her about that, and she says, if you want to do the show, you're going to have controversy. You have to decide if it's important to bring these things up to you or not. And I said, well, the last thing we want to do is lose any viewers, any friends of our own or anything, but I feel it is important, and she said we needed to do it. And after visiting with Chris and Chuck, then that's why the subject comes up. But please don't nobody take offense to it because it's not about that. The point I was trying to make is, like I said, the people that you hold dear to you will always be there if you want them to be. But friendship is something that I take very seriously, and I want to make sure it stays that way.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that um, catfishing it isn't even about just necessarily knowing where the fish are. I mean, there's a lot more to it, and I can give you a very good example of I knew of a community spot, um, and I mean I've heard about it from multiple people, never really been to it myself, and for example, I see Casey Tudoro pull up and in one tournament pulls out a ton of nice fish, and he's within viewing distance of me, so I'm watching him do it on a place that I already knew about. I didn't fish it, but I already knew about it. I've had friends that told me, "Oh yeah, I caught a 50 something pound blue right there," and we went over, we looked at it, we just fished a little ways away from it. Casey pulls up on it, he catches a bunch of fish. Well, I go to the same exact spot on a different tournament. I beat Casey there. I beat Casey to that spot. I don't look at it as his spot because I already knew about that spot. I don't think Casey's mad about that. Probably because he knows I can't catch the fish there anyway. So I go to that spot and I don't catch nothing. I can't get a bite. He can pull up right behind me and just be doing something just the way he does it that I don't, and start just nailing them fish out of that spot
Hmm.
because he has that presentation, that bait, whatever it is that he does. He rubs his armpits on it, and they love it. I don't know,
Ryan
but
Casey's like that. Ryan Casey is a great fisherman. There was a time when he went a year and a half, 2 years, and won every tournament he was in. Now, people overlook Ryan because he's such a great guy, but if Ryan wants to fish tournaments, he takes second
I'm talking
to
Tudor,
nobody.
Casey Tudor.
I understand, but Ryan's like that. I can go to a place and set up on this spot and fish it and catch a couple of fish or not catch anything, and Ryan will come in on it on maybe the same place and just set up on it different, and he'll catch fish where I didn't catch them. And that's what you're saying about Casey Tudor. And a lot of it is they know how to present the bait to them fish in a different way that works for them, and it may or may not work for the rest of us.
Who is Donzi on chat? I want to know who is Donzi. Who is that?
I do not know. Alex.
Alex? All right. Alex? All right. Then I'm down with you for that, Alex. Yeah, I'm down with it. Because me and Alex are fishing monsters again next year, so yeah. There we go.
you couldn't pick a lot better guy than Alex. Is a great guy, and him and I have been talking a lot. I'm going to share something with us right now, not to get off the subject, and we can go back to this subject, but Cindy and I have decided that it's time to pass the torch on Twisted Cat Outdoors and running the tournaments. And Alex Nagy will be running the tournaments with our assistance this in 2015, and we are going to turn it over to him, providing that he enjoys doing it for then on out. And Alex has a lot of great ideas. He's young. He wants to do it, and after 9 years, we're kind of burnt out on it, and we want to fish. And I would like to see everybody give Alex all the support they possibly can, because really I want him to take this and make it something bigger and better than what I've ever done with it.
Awesome.
And I'm sure you'll be, Catfish Weekly will be here to help support them and advertise the tournaments like I do for the ICA, and give them all that help. Plus, you're of course going to be there for this year especially, but and I'm sure beyond that, if he ever needs you for anything.
Absolutely. And we've been looking for a guy that we thought could take it to the next level, because to tell you the truth, after all these years, I've run to the point as far as I want to go with it, and it needs a fresh face, and Alex Nagy will now be the fresh face of Twisted Cat Outdoor Tournament Series.
Well, congrats, Alex. Good luck with it. Yeah, back to the subject on the videos and stuff. Like I was saying a little bit ago, me and Lyle and Chuck, we all agree that, there's really bad sportsmanship. For example, if I took, and this happens with a lot of my friends, and I'll take them out, and I'll take them to a spot, and one of the things that I'll say to them is that, hey, if this spot that we go to is a spot that you don't already know about, during a tournament, if I tell you I'm going there, please let me have that spot. And we're all good enough friends where we're cool with that. And if I'm not going to that spot, I don't care if you go to it. If I'm not going to it first and you want to go to it first, that's fine with me. But if I'm going to it first and I showed it to you, that's a little bit of respect that a lot of my friends, and it's always worked out for me. None of them have ever done it to me. They've all been very cool about it. They've all, they've fished tournaments that I've showed them spots, and I've fished tournaments where they've showed me spots, and I don't fish that specific spot if I didn't know about it right off the bat, So if you do something like that, or like what Lyle said, somebody's getting ready to drift through a bend or whatever, and you full throttle it up and get right up 20 foot in front of them and drop your anchor, that's for sportsmanship. And I don't suggest violence, but that person might need to learn a lesson if they're going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. That's the type of person that they don't have respect for other catfishermen. They need to have something, either being kicked out of a tournament or all the tournaments for poor sportsmanship. Something needs to happen for them to understand that lack of respect for the other fishermen just isn't tolerated. Not a lot of guys do that. I know there are occasions where people really just, they don't have any respect for anybody but themselves. So
that happened to one of our tournaments here a year or so ago, and I mean, there was some pretty butthurt guys over that. Now I thought they was going to get after it. Now I mean, it got bad at the weigh-in.
Yep, and the taking pictures, the taking videos, again, like it's been stated, it's something that I tell anybody. You have to be very conscious of what you're showing in a video, in a picture. If you notice, a lot of guys, that their camera is angled down, right at the boat. You can't see, all you can see, if anything, is water, and nobody can tell you where you're at when you just see water around the boat. If you see stuff on the bank, if you see stuff in the distance, that's where you get landmarks. That's where you get people that will absolutely sit on uh, Google Earth or on a body of water and try to pinpoint exactly where you were at. And whether it be, somebody or a commercial fisherman or whoever, you allowed it to happen by putting that picture out there for them. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't put pictures out there. It just means you should be more cautious about where you take your pictures. Lyle had a good suggestion of take that fish and put it back and take a picture and put it back in a body of water where there's a bunch of Asians, and somebody comes over there, they don't know what they're doing anyway. They're going to mark a bunch of Asians and think, oh, this is the spot. And they're going to sit there for a while and probably not catch many fish. But there's apps that out there that for cell phones that will completely make a different background for your photo. You really have to watch your own back. You can't get mad at people for doing what people do. And I mean, you can, but it's just going to be like beating your head against the wall. It's not going to do you any good. And the other thing that I like to talk about, um, with all this stuff that happens on Facebook, with everything that happens, the drama in the world of catfishing, it happens in anything in life. Um, you're gonna have drama, you're gonna have struggles, you're gonna have things that make you angry. Um, my best advice to people, my dad, he really wants to talk to me, but my best advice to people is to figure a way out that you can just push this stuff away. I mean, really, you can deal with it, but don't let it really eat at you. I mean, if it starts to eat at you, these things start to eat at you, I guarantee you're going to lose the passion for catfishing or whatever it is, and you're going to end up, sitting at home and watching football like Lyle's, when we talked about it before. You'll end up doing something, and you're losing. You're losing everything of your passion because you've allowed it to bother you to that extent. You've allowed it to make you lose friends. You've allowed it to uh, give you the stress that you really didn't want to have. You've allowed it to mentally eat at you. To be able to take that stuff and push it off and just say, this is what I love to do. I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm happy that this person did this. They caught a fish. I don't care. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy life, and I'm going to be happy with everything. And really, it's not living in a fantasy world. It's really it's allowing you to prosper in what you're doing. Um, and it's not easy. I'm not going to say that everything that happens it's easy to do that with. But the more you practice it and the more you put it together, you put it to use, especially with smaller things and building it up over it makes it easier with the stuff that could really eat at you harder, especially things that could eat at you are a friend getting really mad at you because he thinks you did something that you don't feel like was very bad. You just were doing what you do, and a friend is really mad at you, things happen, and it starts to eat at you, and that's the kind of things where you're like, all right, how can I handle this in a way that I can still be positive and come away from this in a better uh, mood or spotlight than to just be so upset and distraught about it that it's going to eat at me. And like I said, I don't feel that it's a fantasy world. I think that it's definitely helped me. I know there's lots of things that I've dealt with every year, people, subjects, and I do what I do. I feel that I try to be positive. I think about the things the way I want to think about them, and I enjoy catfishing, and I make sure that no matter what, I will continue to enjoy catfishing. I won't let anybody take that away from me. Um,
Chuck, you got any feedback on this?
Oh yeah.
I
Um,
thought you might.
yeah. It's not too much on the tournament. It's just sharing the rivers the way I think of it. Um, we really don't have too much problem with it. Sometimes when, four or five of us show up below the dam in the springtime, of course, everybody's going to be below the dam. Um, Everybody's going to react the same to different situations that, that they may cut, they may cut current on, and the wind picks up. So, of course, everybody's going to, haul butt up to the dam and anchor down the current so you can control your boat and just, anchor fish straight out in the current. You're not actually following anybody around. Everybody just reacts to the same situations the same way. Um, when you're on a narrow stretch of river like that, you're going to be, actually drifting same ledges as everybody else. As long as you're not doing that at the same time, and guys pull up to each other, um, while they hitting on for you, they hitting heads or stakes, stuff like that's important information. Most time you hadn't got a bite on a steak all day, and may have all your fish may have come off heads, and other people seeing the same thing. You just pass information on like that so everybody can have fun and catch some fish. But when you're actually fishing and you have like last year I was sitting over at the Rock Bluff and I had a game warden and a water patrol and 3 bass boats actually watching me catch fish. I was on them pretty good. This one guy seen me throwing them back, and he said, "Hey man, just throw one of them big ones over here in my boat." That got me thinking. I don't want these guys seeing how I'm doing this. I don't want them to come catch them. If they're going to act like that about it, I'm just going to move, hope they don't follow me. Um, I didn't care. I'll just sit there and let them watch me all day long. But when those guys acted like that might be interested in them, if they would want to catch a 40, 50 pound fish and keep it. That kind of, made me want to get up and move out of the way. You got to think about, the Bassmasters and them guys like that. I've been on the lake at the same time as a Bassmaster tournament. You'll have boats following these anglers around everywhere. They'll catch a fish. They got boats all around them clapping. Everybody's watching, where they're catching fish. They've been pre-fishing. Some of these guys pre-fish for a month on these lakes, especially the Bassmaster, because it's the first tournament of the year. And a lot of these guys, they'll get out there for a whole month and just beat that lake to death, trying to find where those fish are, what they're hitting, trying to find any advantage. Then on game day, you've got a ton of boats following these guys around, and they're all clapping for them, catching fish, following them, 60 miles to the Civic Center and watching the weigh-in and everything. And if we're going to get, catfishing to be as exciting as these guys out catching this bait, we gotta get people interested in it and share information to a certain point. When you start seeing them posting big fish constantly, that's just time to stop sharing information with them. At first, if they ask, "Hey man, where do you catch those big fish at?" And you explain channel edges or something. They call you on the phone while they're out there. I've had guys call me while they're on the lake. "Man, we've been fishing all morning, hadn't caught anything." I'm like, "Hey man, go to this spot, go 3 boat lengths away from this structure, this obstacle here, and fish straight down on a couple rods and cast a couple out." And all of a sudden they catch a few fish, they get really interested, and they tell me thanks for sharing some information. Um, you know, after they start learning on their own, and you give them a few pointers, because I had guys help me at the beginning, and now you couldn't get help from them. They got you started. They see you're catching good fish now. They're happy that they were able to help, but you're not going to be able to get the same kind of help from them now as when you're first beginning. And that has a lot to do with sharing the river and sharing situations, and and helping other people get started. If I'm fishing a certain part of the lake and I actually see a guide, which is usually one of my friends, and he's out fishing that area. I see he's there trying to put people on fish. He's making a living. I totally go to totally different part of the lake. I may drive by within shouting distance and throw my hand up and let him know I'm around or whatever. But I'm not going to move in on his fishing. Um, and I might even tell him, pull up and tell him, hey, I fished this morning and they were fishing, hitting pretty good on these type of areas, just to throw them a few hinders that, hey, this is where I found them this morning. Go get you some, because those guys, they're going to be releasing the fish. Um, and the thing about posting pics on Facebook, especially with me having Leanne in the boat, she loves taking pictures. There's no way I could ever hide where we're at, or anything like that. Um, but some pictures I just won't post, if it's really giving something away, and that's not because I'm afraid another catfisherman's going to, steal my spot, or go catch fish where I go catch fish. Because anyway, I'm more into finding new spots. If I find spots that I go back and I catch fish a whole lot at, yeah, I may try those in a tournament and go. But every time I go fishing now, I'm trying to find new spots and mark new waypoints and stuff. So I'm just afraid these guys that are looking to learn catfishing so they can go catch these big fish and keep them. That's the reasons I'm afraid, by showing too much on my pages. And I certainly, if I don't know the people too well, I won't give them too much information, until I learn that they're actually, doing the CPR and stuff like that. I have, new guys, ask me stuff all the time, but I'm very hesitant about giving away too much information right off the bat and helping anybody until I'm totally sure that they're going to be CPRing and they're not going to be toting big fish home and taking boatload of friends out and them just you know getting on a good bite and cleaning these holes out and stuff. So you know that's the way I feel about sharing the river, and you know not giving my spots away for people that want to keep these big fish. That's about all I got to say on that one.
All right, yeah, the other subject, I guess, of the night. I know, this episode's running really long right now.
We was gonna hold it down to an hour, remember?
Yeah, no. um, Another big thing that happened along the Facebook front was, I can't say I know everything that happened. It was another one of them things that got deleted, but there was some product bashing, or product manufacturer bashing. Um, there was some name calling. There was, just one of them things that you wish you never would have seen. Um, we've talked about this subject a little bit before, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to Lyle about this before the show, and he might not know what I'm talking about, or Chuck. Um, and again, unfortunately, this went back to, I believe it stemmed from the rod holder companies, and it's one of them things where, it's of my opinion, and I don't care honestly, what Lyle says about it, what Dave Ashby says about it, what Steve um, uh, Douglas says about it. It's just one of those things where, myself personally, I don't feel that me bashing any other product does me any good, does anybody else any good. I think it makes me look bad. I think it makes the people that I represent, look bad. Um, I just don't think that's any way to handle a situation at all. And I honestly don't care if that person really screwed me over. They really done me wrong. I'm not going to go out and publicly say a bunch of bad stuff about a company. Like I said, I think it makes me look bad. I think it makes me look immature. Um, and again, I'm not going to name out any names. I'm not trying to make anybody mad. I'm not trying to start a war. I'm calling it like I see it. You won't find me doing it. And I think that if I was a sponsor of a product or anything like that, and I know it was taken down, but had I seen it, I would have mentally, or I would have physically wrote down the name of the person that I seen it. If I was a friend on Facebook and I was a product manufacturer, I would write that name on the list of people that I will never sponsor. And I don't know if Lyle has a list like that,
I do.
but I would definitely think if I was somebody who was in the industry, I would have a list like that.
I
And
definitely.
it doesn't matter that you deleted it. It matters that you did it in the first place.
That's right.
And that's I don't want to see anybody get put on a list because they got mad and they did something one time. That's sort of the reason I'm bringing it up. I understand sometimes anger happens and you put something it was out of the heat of the moment, and it's unfortunate because that one split second decision can really affect you, especially if you're really trying to make a name for yourself in an industry, any kind of industry. Um, that sort of negativity, that sort of drama, that kind of stuff is exactly what employers, sponsors, they look for. They look for things like that on Facebook. They try to find out what kind of person you are, and without knowing somebody, the things that you put out there is the only way somebody can get to know you.
Oh.
So, um, just my opinion to people out there is, as something happens, you're really mad, you're thinking about putting a post out there, take a day or two to calm down, to think about whether or not that is something you really have to voice your opinion and expression about, because it might be something that makes you look bad, and you don't, it's not necessarily what you're going after. You're just trying to vent frustration or whatever else, but unfortunately, it's just not the way to do it.
I did not see what you're talking about, but I do have a list, and on my list is some great catfishermen, people that I respect very much in the industry, but they have done some things or said some things or whatever that would shy me away from a business relationship with them for one reason or the other. I have been guilty of the same thing myself. I'm not saying that I've never done it, because I have, but I learned better from it. It cost me some of the friendships that I consider very dear to me. Sponsorships. It cost me sponsorships years ago when I was getting started, and right now those are big deal sponsorships, and I regret that a great deal. So yeah, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen again, and we're all going to make mistakes. Be the man that you think you are, and say, hey, I made a mistake. There's nobody in the world that hates to admit they're wrong any worse than me. You can ask Cindy; she'll tell you I don't like to do it, but I will do it if I'm wrong, and I know I'm wrong. Once I settle down from it, I will come up to somebody and say, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's too late.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, in the heat of the moment, you get mad and you do things, say things. Uh, I don't like to do it, but I will if I make a mistake. I'll tell you that I made a mistake and ask for forgiveness. And sometimes forgiveness is one of the toughest things to get, other than respect that I'm aware of.
Justin Browning said that's why he turns his phone off when he goes to the bar. I think he forgets to turn his. I think he forgets to turn his phone off sometimes.
One of these days, old Justin is gonna. They're gonna do him like they do my buddy Keith Atkins. Now, Keith and I are really good friends, and once in a while, somebody will get a hold of his phone when they're out partying, and some of the wildest posts get made on his phone. Really way out there stuff, and that'll happen to Justin someday, and it'll really be funny.
Yeah, it's fun when if really good friends have different sponsors, and you can see it really in NASCAR. The Ford against Chevy things and stuff like that. But you
I'm
don't
pretty
want to
serious about that.
you don't want to go out and and bring it into the, if you're actually sponsored by these people, you just don't want to, bring it out into the public. You can have fun with your friends about it, and do a little bit of lipping off and stuff, and that's what's the fun and competition's all about. But everybody's going to have to get along. All the different sponsors, everyone's sponsored by different people, and just it's going to be fun if you make it that way.
Exactly.
And
You was talking about that fun between guys and stuff. I've mentioned my buddy John Nordyke. Him and I went to school together, and he is down in Alabama now. He left last night, spent the night somewhere, and finished his drive this morning and called me and said he was there. And um, I have this feeling, and I hope that it happens, that a bunch of us will get together for meals or drinks or whatever we do, and enjoy our time down there. This is Cindy and I's Christmas celebration for the two of us, is making this trip, and we wasn't sure we was going to get to make it, but anyhow, John and I are liable to be on each other about anything. It might be a reel or a rod or his freaking old boat or whatever. But in the end, we're still friends. And um, if I was on fish and John was not, I would call John and say, "Here, this is what I'm on. This is what you need to be looking for." Uh, I feel like he would do that to me. If he wouldn't, I'm okay with that. But if he had not got fish in the boat and it was drawing near the end of the tournament, I'd say you need to find this type of structure and this type of depth of water, and find you a place like that and fish it. And he's a very dear friend to me, and that's what I say about friendships. They are so good friends are irreplaceable, and John is one of those guys that if something would happen, I couldn't replace him.
And Ron Streeter just made a good point. Sponsors are hard to get, but easy to lose.
That's very true. That's very true.
So I think we've made them wait long enough. I think we're going on a 2-hour show. I think it's time to do that Christmas giveaway drawing.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
keep
guys think?
getting messages on Facebook. Have you drawn yet? Who won?
All right, everybody. Here's what we've decided. Since they do the 12 days of Christmas, I'm going to do 12 randomizations on the list. And if I didn't get everybody on this list, I sincerely apologize. Since we've been talking and since the show's been going, I've got the total up to 87 entries. So there's some guys during the show that, when I said get your butt over there and get your name on there and and do what we need you to do, they did it. So, because I think there's been about 5 or so more that have added since the show's been going. But here we go. Do the screen share. I'm going to put it on random.org here. You can see it. I'm going to pull the list up. 87 people. I'm copying the names. I've got your superfan entries in there listed as superfan entry. You can see right here, like the Greg Aaron and then Greg Aaron superfan entry. If I come up, you can see that all of our superfans got their superfan entries. If I missed one, I'm incredibly sorry. But I do think I've got everybody. Chad Wall superfan entry. Seth McAllister, both. We got them all in here. What I'm going to do is first time I click randomize, that's going to be number 1. I'm going to do it 12 times and count each time I click it. Whoever's name is at the top here is going to be our winner of this huge giveaway. All right, here we go. Number 1, John Woods was at number 1. Number 2, Greg Aaron was at number 1.
Uh-oh.
Number 3, David Cope at number 1.
Uh-oh.
Number 4, Slackline Catter number 1. Number 5, David Miller. Number 6, John Harden. Number 7, Jason Malone. Number 8, Greg Aaron. Number 9, Robert Jackson, superfan. Number 10, Robert Jackson, superfan. Number 11, Nick Goodall. And the very last one, Scott Woody.
Whoa! Scott Woody.
Scott Woody. Congratulations. You have got an amazing package coming to you for Christmas. Hopefully hopefully it's really nice for you. And like I said, you use it, get pictures with using some of the stuff, and let us know how you like everything. And hopefully you're watching the show, or you'll watch it soon. But we'll get
Jim
a
and
hold of
Sheila
you.
sent me the. I told you guys that Jim and Sheila sent me the Akuma reel, so it will be coming at the same time that the rod does. After we get back from Wheeler, we'll get all that stuff ready to get it up. But I have a 450 Classic XT from Jim and Sheila at Bass and Moore. That very nice reel. I pulled out of the box and took a look at it. Very smooth. You should be very happy with that.
Awesome.
Along with all the other stuff.
Yeah, it is a great package, and I believe. Let's see if I pull him up here. I'm friends with him. He's from
Alabama.
yeah, Alabama, Roanoke,
Is he an
Alabama.
Alabama guy? Cool.
Roanoke. Yeah, he's a good old dude. From his post I've seen. I don't know him.
All right. Well, I think he'll be happy to know that he won. And you know, like I said, we got more contests to go in the new year. We got lots of stuff coming. We're working on making things better. And you know, I think that anybody that wants to get in on these contests, they should. I think everybody should do the Superfan thing. I mean, it's so worth it. It's not even funny for $10.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it pays for itself with you just one order of a rod from Lyle, or an order from Whiskerware Apparel will probably help you out on the cost of it. I mean, you get I think it's a 15% discount or something. I don't even know, but there's lots of stuff. Well, it was a great show tonight. We had a lot of people in chat. I mean, I had to go and pay for a bigger chat room so people could fit in there, and that's just awesome. And I hope that every month, you know, it just or every week it continues to get better and better. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't make it that way. We'll have some contests where you have to be in the chat room or something to win. We'll do that. We'll make it so you guys that are in the chat with us have
Great
the best
idea.
shot.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, so that'll get people in the chat talking with us and enjoying. And I don't know what size T-shirt yet, Jason. If that's what you're asking, I don't know what size he is. He didn't put that on his Facebook profile. But yeah, it was a good episode tonight. I'm sorry it went on for 2 hours. We kind of expected that it would by missing last week and having so much to talk about. And again, like I said, we're going to work on making sure that we don't have any hiccups like we did last week. And we don't know if that was an issue with you know, like the Google servers, or if it was something that, you know, just wasn't working right. But we'll get it figured out. And again, we appreciate everybody. And you know, as I say all the time, and I just want to express that it's a joke, but anyway, if you see me on the water, just make sure you stay out of my spot.